Hello, welcome to this late morning taste challenge. We have two 40% brandies, and one is from Eastern Europe and one is from Kentucky. Well, it's bottled in Kentucky at least. And this one is called Odessa V.S.O.P. Very smooth old pale brandy, premium quality from whatever it's bottle. I don't know, but it's from Shustoff Cognac Factory. SCF of Odessa, Ukraine. All right. And this factory, this distillery, was established in 1863. It was family owned by the Shustoff family. Well, of course, when the friendly communists took over in 1917, being the thieves they were, they stole the distillery from the family and turned it into like Odessa Cognac Factory. But now it's back under the Shustoff family, okay? Imported by Global Spirits USA LLC. So Global Spirits is the importer into the United States. You can look at their website. They show all different kind of bottle sizes of Odessa V.S.O.P. And they have the blue label, which I have, and there's also a khaki label. I don't know why there's two different labels, but apparently the blue label is the newer one and the khaki has been phased out. They both look nice. It Superior Reserve brandy. Reserve for who? Anyone who wants to buy it. 40% alcohol. 2 years ago I bought this. It was last year I bought this. March 2022, right after the special operation began in Ukraine, and they had so much of it. Everybody was buying it to support Ukraine. Most of the people probably couldn't find Ukraine on the map, but so I bought it. It's still available at Total Wine and More in Metairie, Louisiana, and the price has not gone up. It's probably being subsidized by your tax money. But anyway, it's a nice molded glass bottle. It's rumpled. It's not just, it's a medicine. It's like a medicine bottle. It's that kind of thing like you get with the MD 2020 wine, Mogan David 2020 wine, that kind of thing. But nice, full size bottles, not a half size. The other bottle sizes are different shapes. Some are more rounded or whatever. And it's got a matte finish, not glossy, but matte, M-A-T-T-E. $11.99. Total Wine and More. Coming to you all the way from Ukraine. And the competitor is from Kentucky. Well, it's bottled in Kentucky. Now, the brandy could be from California, New York, anywhere. It's just straight up brandy. And in that sense, each bottling could change. You know what I mean? Like it might all be California brandy this month. Next month, it might be a blend of California and New York brandy. It doesn't say, and we don't know, and it probably doesn't really matter because they're probably choosing brandy that is basically neutral. And the reason I'm saying that, this is a V.S.O.P. also. The reason I'm saying that is because it is brandy with natural flavor and caramel color. Natural flavors, plural, flavors. There's more than one flavor in it. Why did they add natural flavoring? I don't know. It's an intriguing question. Don't have a good answer. It says bottled by IWA Distilling in Kentucky, but that's a shell name or an alias name, or as the U.S. government calls it, an assumed name for the Sazerac company, Buffalo Trace. You say Buffalo Trace, they make Eagle Rare and Blanton's. Oh man, I love tracking down their stuff in Weller. That's true. And they make stuff like this too, inexpensive. We don't get this in our town, but we do get a very inexpensive brandy from them. And it's called Hartley V.S.O.P. And it's made with Italian brandy, so it's a different recipe. Didn't taste much different though. All right. But anyway, moving on. Right. nice grip bottle so you can grab the back. It's kind of heavy, so you can grab the back. Plastic. The regular size bottle is glass, and the clear glass bottle is $8.49. So $8.49 versus $11.99. So $3.50 difference. Is it going to really be a $3.50 difference? Probably. Now you might be saying already, wait a minute, hold on, back up. How can the company in Ukraine call themselves the Shustoff? No one's going to take issue with that. That's the family name. But how can anybody call it the Shustoff Cognac Factory? Cognac. You say cognac. But I thought cognac could only be produced in France, in a certain region of France, under various guidelines. Yeah, that's true. But this was started in Ukraine, like I said, in 1863. And they called it Shustoff Cognac Factory. And the name changed. Now it's back to the original name. And more copper, and this is more amber. So the Shustoff, the Odessa is darker. Yeah, well, you see, Ukraine is probably not part of that trade group that recognizes that cognac can only come from France. So that rule, they probably don't care about that rule. So you say, but cognac and brandy, they're really different. Cognac is so much different than brandy. Well, actually, in reality, they're the same thing. They're both brandy. The only difference is that cognac has to come from Cognac, France. You say, so you're telling me they could literally taste the same? Yeah. They can look the same? Yeah. They can be made with the same ingredients. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's kind of like champagne and bubbly wine. You say, what's the difference? Where it's produced. Flavor could be the same. Aroma could be the same. Body, same. Texture, same. Finish, same. ABV, same. Could that be the case in American whiskey and stuff? Well, yeah, it really could be. So bourbon can only be made in the United States, any U.S. state. Some people think it can only be made in Kentucky, which is urban and rural and suburban legend. I mean, most bourbon is made in Kentucky, but that's not a rule. The rule is it has to be made in the United States. It has to be mostly corn, 51% corn. It has to be aged, so that's the first rule, made in the USA, like Bruce Springsteen says. Secondly, has to be at least 51% corn. The other 49% could be any other grain, doesn't matter. It could be 100% corn for that matter. Thirdly, has to be aged in new, never before used, new charred oak barrels. And a lot of people will say, yeah, it has to be at least 2 years old or 4 years old. No, sorry, that's not a rule. Bourbon can be 4 weeks old. As long as it meets the first 3 requirements, it's bourbon. Now, of course, if you say straight bourbon has to be at least 2 years old, not 4 like a lot of people say. 2. You say 2, that's really young. Right. You're really correct. Bourbon is not. Yeah, it's strict in one way, but in another way, it's really not that strict. Wouldn't be that hard to comply with those guidelines. So you say, well, so Canadian whiskey, it's really not that different from bourbon when you think about it. Yeah, when you think about it. Okay, so the best thing to do is don't think about it. Happy 4th, says Travis Childers. Happy Independence Day to you. Isle of Fire, a.k.a. Stanley Wayne. Wayne says, greetings, my friend. Cheers. Cheers back to you. And happy Independence Day, everybody. And here we go. So is this what you call it? Is this Ukrainian brandy going to be much different than the American brandy. Price is $3.50. I would say it is going to be different, and I'm not going to get them confused. But I don't think it's going to be greatly different. Now, does the Odessa have any flavors or coloring added? I don't know. They don't say anything about it. I would assume they don't have it, but you never know. You just never know since they're allowed to do it. Daryl Macia says, "Good morning, Ronald. Happy Independence Day, USA." Same to you, Daryl. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, here we go. I think I'm going to get it on aroma only, but I'm not sure, but I think I will. All right, here we go. All right. Sometimes I forget to take a breath. All right. Smell like spicy oak aged white grapes. Sounds sarcastic, but I'm not. I'm not being sarcastic. I mean, really, that's what it smells like. Yeah, smells fine. That's what it smells like. Taste, cheers. I mean, smell, cheers. Okay, yeah, the aroma here is very similar, spicy, and like I said, and but maybe there's that little aroma from the flavors added. At this point, I'm not quite sure because it's so close. So, in appearance, if you want something a little darker, go with the Odessa, and I think that's their name for their export brandy. I don't think they sell it as Odessa in Odessa, Ukraine, but that's what their export product is. Julian Rutten says, "Just watched your Pacifico review last night. I need you to bust out the Red Sox outfit again one day, laughing out loud." Oh yeah, well that's coming. I have two different caps: the Red Sox, your standard cap, and then their alternative cap, which they almost never wear, but they do wear it, or they used to at least. They might have dropped that, just like the Dodgers. Oh no, wait. Oh yeah. Never mind. Never mind. I saw the Dodgers wearing an alternative cap the other night. Just when you thought it was safe to go out to regular land again. Yeah, and anytime I go out with my Red Sox gear on, my cap and shirt, I'm always certain to wear my red socks. I have red socks, and I wear that. Stanley says, produced in Ukraine. That's interesting. Cool. Yeah, I know. That's why I bought it. Miss those. It's got two socks on it, on the cap. You know, a left and a right sock. And they're next to each other. You know what I'm talking about. Blue cap. They're struggling this year, but that's what baseball's about: struggling, losing, being disgusted. Somebody might ask me, why should I watch baseball? And I would say, you like losing, you like this being disgusted, you like trouble. There you go. You say, no, I like to win. I like championships. Yeah, don't watch baseball because you're not going to experience that too much if you got a favorite team. But yeah. Hey, look at me. I like the Cubs and the White Sox. You say the Cubs and the White Sox. You know them. They win a championship every 100 years. Once every century, they win it, and it's so exciting. And then you got to wait another 100 years. Okay. Taste time. Cheers. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I noticed this when I first did this review for this product. It's heavy, 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 heavy on the grape skins, which could be a problem in this taste challenge because the the grape leaves, not even skin, leaves. You say leaves. They don't put the leaf in the mix. I know, but I don't know, but it tastes like that. The Classic Club is real heavy on the grape leaves also. It's weird. But I've been to the Greek festival enough times at the Greek Orthodox Cathedral, and I've tasted those stuffed grape leaves, and that what I tasted there is what I'm tasting here, okay? Opa! That's the flavor. It's like a little spiciness and dry sherry and white wine. I don't mean like to the extent of like Pinot Grigio or Chardonnay, but it's something like that. It's like in that world, that universe, that galaxy, that solar system. Yeah, what they call that. That planet, that hemisphere, that continent, that country, that state, that county, that town, that ward. All right, that block. Um, yeah, but this one has the natural flavors added, so I know it's the classic club. So there you go. I got it. I'm gonna tell you, I got it. Um, Stanley says, when I used to play baseball, I had trouble hitting home runs, but instead I always seemed to hit bullet like line drives, which people were always afraid to try and catch. See? Haha, so instead everyone jumped out of the way. And if that works, it's better than hitting, you know, impressive fly balls that they catch at the wall every time. Unless you're getting RBIs out of it, letting other people come in. You know, it's all about how it pans out, as they say. Okay. He says, yeah, right. My main goal was to get hit in the leg, and then I could get on base. I wasn't a very good player, but I didn't have a lot of practice and help. Yeah, I did better at swimming. I would have done better, okay at baseball, but I didn't have the proper. We had good coaches. I'm not gonna say the coaches weren't. They were very nice. They weren't like you see now, yelling at people, screaming, hollering. We never had that. Never. I think they got beat up by the parents if they'd have done that. But they just would be like saying, "Oh, do this, try to do this." You know, that's it. Like they never raise their voice, just like trying to help you play. So when I got into high school and I saw you screaming and hollering coaches, I was like, I don't know what his major malfunction is, but he ain't screaming at me. This much I know. I'm over here to help out because I was like a manager, equipment manager. I'm here to help out, and you're gonna scream at me about putting the equipment somewhere. I'm like, that ain't happening. You can put that equipment out yourself. I'm getting on the bus and I'm leaving. I'll pay to go to the game instead of listening to you. And I was serious about that. And then he was mad at me, boy. He hated me after that. But I didn't care. But he got me back when I was a teacher and he was a principal. He was like, I'll fix you. You'll never get this job. It worked out anyway. So he didn't really get me. He's still around. He don't try that yelling bit at me anymore. Okay. Yeah, it's like they're adding a flavor in it. I don't know what it is. It tastes kind of like that. I keep saying this. I said this in all the whiskey videos, like that sugar cream and the Cadbury eggs, but it isn't that. But it's like oh, this is a crazy guess. Probably vanilla, and I was saying dehydrated orange peel, but I think literally they can buy that. I think they can buy anything, dehydrated lime skins or something. But I just think they're adding that to do something with it. I know they add flavoring. It says it on the label. Brandy with natural flavors. Now, what would be the incentive to pay extra to add that? The only thing I can imagine is that the product is probably so inexpensive, if you want to say cheap, that might be more accurate. That the flavor on its own is kind of, yeah, maybe not the best. And maybe the batches change because they're using different stuff, so it couldn't be a consistency issue. so they can override all that with the flavoring and the coloring. That's common, so we can't even mention that. They do that with pretty much all the Scotch, so in Canadian whiskey. So yeah, I think the flavoring is just to override any little problems here or there, and then yeah, it's a consistent product. And then 99% of the consumers don't read the label anyway, so yeah, it works out. They don't care. They make it mixed drinks with Kool-Aid. And of course ice. So what the heck? You say Odessa, it's a lot more demure. I think the Odessa may be a little bit more demure. I don't think it's too much more. It's a little nicer, but I'm not gonna say it's way nicer. I just bought it because it was A, inexpensive, and B, it was the topical product, a la Ukraine Special Operation 2022. You know what I'm saying? I bought it for that, like really that reason. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I didn't. Do I like it? Yeah. The company's been around for over 150 years, 160 years this year, 160th anniversary. So yeah, they know what they're doing. It's not the greatest, but it's not sent to be the greatest. What is the greatest? Well, let's look at the website. Like they're showing, I'm gonna read the comments, don't worry. They're showing V.S.O.P brandy, and it's saying currently belonging to the world famous Shustoff Cognac Factory, Odessa brandy, or as they spell it on this website, brandy Odessa. Number 4 best-selling brandy in the world, according to Drinks International's Millionaires Club 2021. Never heard of that. Not saying it's wrong. Premium quality produced in ideal climate conditions because the distillery was founded by Nikolay, or we would say in America, Nick Shustoff in 1863, located by the coast of Black Sea. The coast. The translating from Ukrainian. The coast of the Black Sea. The coast of the Black Sea, not the coast of Black Sea. The brandy was named after the city that is renowned for centuries of winemaking and brandy production. The city is what? Odessa, from the great country of Ukraine, the world's greatest country. That's basically what they're saying on the website. That's why we have so many medals. We win more medals than anyone ever in the history of the world. And then they go into the whole history of how the communists took it over and they got it back. And then they have 1,000,001 photos, seem like, of their factory, their distillery. They show the barrels, they show the equipment, they go through in intricate detail on how they produce it. I mean, they'll go into so much detail, you'll never spend the time to read it, okay? They claim they're the largest distillery in Europe. What else do they make? Kroll vodka, potato vodka. I have had Kroll. My friend David bought some. It was very good. I'd never tried potato vodka before. It's better than regular vodka, by the way. Leaf vodka. I think that's grain vodka. Core, Khor. What is Core? Oh, number 2 best-selling vodka in the world. Okay, yeah, of course. What else does Shustoff make? They make the collection, the vintage, the Shustoff brandies, their old history, Grand Royal, Ordinary, Grand Prix, Shustoff 150, Chocolatier, that's flavored, obviously cherry and chocolate. Speakeasy, Speakeasy. I know who they copied that from. United States. Let's see, Ordinary brandy. That's what they call it, Ordinary brandy. Desna. Must mean ordinary in Ukrainian. Desna, 40% alcohol. Ordinary brandy, Desna 3-star, and a 3-star is a VS. That's very basic. Has being produced, you got to remember, they don't speak English, okay? So don't criticize them. Ordinary brandy, Desna 3 stars, has been produced since 1988 and is known to several generations of amateurs. is known to several generations of amateurs. It is a beautiful and original drink of golden amber color, which is prepared from brandy spirits aged for at least 3 years. with the addition of 4 and 5-year alcohols. It has a refined aroma with light tones of aging, harmonious and soft taste with oak notes and long and memorable aftertaste. This brandy is a great digestive that is combining well both with coffee and cigars and with fruits. Drink it or you are a jaw of traitor, you running dog lucky. Well, they don't say that, but anyway. Brandy Desna, ordinary brandy, is the four five the 4 stars, a little higher grade. Age of these 4 years. Okay, so they make all kind of products. These cheap ones, which they call ordinary. It's the name of the product, ordinary. What about some ordinary brandy? Make something called Old History Cognac. See, that's the thing, they call it cognac. 3. The Old History 4. The Old History, predictably 5, cognac. The Old History V.S.O.P. Very, very smooth old pale. I bought one of those from Cleveland, Ohio. And it was really good too, by the way. It was cheap as chips and it was good. Well, I'm not going to read all their products because there's so many. It's unreal. It is unreal. Unreal, unreal. Okay. Comments. Crazy coaches. Yeah, I know. They're crazy. Thankfully, I could always run to the bases almost as fast as my line drives. My nickname was The Flash. But anyway, those were the days, laughing out loud. You're great, man. Keep up the work. Thank you. Reminiscing of one's spring chicken-like days of old. Have you ever been out to Fenway Park, and do you have to go to ballpark drink? They go to ballpark drink. Yes, fountain water. Fenway Park. I've been there twice, in 2003 and 2013. And in 2003, it was like run down and kind of dirty and smelled like garbage. Like literally, it smelled like they had trash underneath the seats from garbage cans. It was gross. They did a lot of work on it, and it went from the lousiest ballpark I had been to really nice in 2013. So yeah, I like it. I like those old parks. It's been heavily renovated. I mean, have no doubt. But yeah, from 1912, at least on paper, you know what I mean. So yeah. I have potato vodka. Yeah, potato vodka always seems to taste so much smoother than grain base. It is nice. Did you ever try the grape vodka from Ciroc? Ciroc, C-I-R-O-C. That's an interesting way to do it. Grape vodka. You say grape vodka. Those French people. Oh, those French people with their frog legs and their grape vodka and their cognac and their champagne and their berets. And riots. All right. From their African guests. Yeah, I heard the stadium almost went under the early 2000s. Right. They wanted to build a new stadium. The team did. But the city practically revived it. I went around 2011 and it seemed to be pretty decent shape. I have tried cognac grape vodka. It was okay. Okay. Yeah. So they wanted to build a new stadium going back to the late 80s, but they kept saying, no. The history. And then after Tiger Stadium closed and Comiskey Park closed and was demolished, both of them, then it really was the oldest stadium. I could have gone to Comiskey Park too in 1990, but like a fool, I didn't go. And then it was gone. Oh, what a fool. But I wasn't thinking along those lines in 33 years ago. Say this about the Classic Club. When you first start sipping it, the natural flavors added jump out. They're like vanilla, woo, 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 orange peel. Woo, woo, woo. I mean, that's what it tastes like to me. I'm not saying that's what the flavors are, but it seems to flash those flavors. Then, which I like, then after you sipping on it for a little while, then they kind of dissipate and blend into the flavor, and then it's just like, it just tastes like regular old brandy. Like could be anybody's brand, more or less. So Is it a good deal for $17.99 for this big handle bottle? Yeah, I think so. You say, well, I don't want to really buy a big bottle like that. What if I buy a regular glass size bottle? I mean, glass, regular size bottle. Well, then it's $8.49. I mean, that's got to be really cheap. You can't be that tight. $8.49 for a regular size bottle of this. That's your deal. It ain't the greatest thing, but it's certainly not the worst. I don't know what the worst is. I hope I never try it. Classic Club. It's very basic looking. And it's very basic tasting. But it's very good. Basic can be good. I'm glad Fenway and Wrigley Park or Wrigley Field are still kicking. Both are beautiful. Yeah, I haven't been to Wrigley Field in about 10 years. It's been 10 years. 10 years, literally 10 years. Time flies when you're having fun. And I always like going there to Wrigley Field, and I've been to about 8 or 9 games there. I know they changed it a lot since I've been. I'd like to go back. I'm not saying I gotta go back, but I'd like to go back. The White Sox ballpark, they change the name about every 2 years. Yeah, it's really nice. I went there first time in 2001 before the September stuff, But I went there. I really liked it. That was the first all baseball park. That was the first one they built in the 90s that was for baseball only. It was the first non-multi-purpose park. And when they opened it, everybody was like, oh, it's awesome. But then later they were complaining about it. The upper deck's too high. It's too steep. They don't have any bricks. Now, first they say, why all these ballparks have to be alike? They're all cookie cutter. They called them cookie cutter in the 70s and 80s. 70s. Okay, so they build the new Comiskey Park. Initial reviews, it's awesome. It's so much better than that old dilapidated, rundown Comiskey Park. Then they start complaining later on. It's no good. The upper deck's too high. It's got no red bricks, no brickwork. It's not like all the rest. Now listen to this. They're complaining because all the old ballparks were cookie cutter. In other words, all the same. And now they're complaining because this one is not like all the rest. See the problem? So then they said, okay, we're going to make it better. We're going to make it have a lot of brickwork and ivy, and we'll shave off the top of the upper deck and make it just like all the rest. It'll be the same. That way it'll be the same as the rest. That way it won't be a cookie cutter ballpark. And now what do they say about all the parks built in the 1990s? They're all the same. They're a bunch of cookie cutter ballparks. I was like, you can't win with these wackos, I remember when all of that was happening. Okay. I remember they used to complain about Tropicana Field. It's too different. They don't like cookie cutter because they're all the same, but they complain about Tropicana Field because it's too different. Nice. Okay. Can't make everyone happy. No, you can't. All right. Well, anyway, I would say this is more or less a tie. Basically, kind of like a tie. But oh, thanks for watching, Julia. But not exactly the same. And I guess I'll give a little tiny. Yeah, I guess I'll give a little tiny advantage to Odessa, just because it tastes a little nicer. But it's not. It isn't much. And you have to remember now it's $3.50 more per bottle, but they're shipping it across the ocean from Ukraine. So when you factor in the shipping cost, it probably is exactly the same price. You know what I'm saying? It's probably like the cheapest brandy in Europe. So, yeah. But they're both V.S.O.P, 4 to 6 years. They taste like they got a little age on them. A little bit, a little. They're not hot. They're not hot. They're not rough. So they win. They win. Now these next taste challenges are not really going to be that close because we're in Ukraine. Now we're going to go to well, we have England. What am I saying? England. We got Spain and France. Yeah, Spain and France. Fundador from Spain and a bunch of French brandies. Yeah, I can't see Classic Club beating any of those. I don't think it has a chance. It's really going to get killed. But we'll watch it get killed. Let's just watch it get killed. Thank you for watching and have a happy Independence Day.